Very cool. So I'm going to ask you sort of a pre-COVID, post-COVID question. So, for us, this is such an amazing opportunity to be able to speak to professional athletes. So we want to know, first of all, pre-COVID, what was life like on the LPGA Tour, traveling and just everything that comes along with it?
Yeah, pre-COVID, so after I won at the Volunteers of America, like 5 days later, I went to China to play and went to Taiwan and played, and it's a lot of traveling. It's just a lot. You kind of have to pace yourself with your body just because traveling and being on a plane for so long definitely takes a toll on your body. But this year I was in Florida in January. We have a pretty short off season, so I ended in November, December off, but then January second week started playing again. And then I was in Australia for 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of February, and we were supposed to go to Thailand and Singapore to play, but those got canceled a week before the tournament started because of COVID. And so then we came back, but we were still supposed to play in Phoenix and San Diego, and I was actually in Houston at Champions promoting the U.S. Women's Open that's going to be there, which was supposed to be this week. And I was supposed to go to the Houston Rodeo to kind of do some stuff, and it got canceled like 5 hours before. Oh, wow. And so that's when it was kind of like, this is a big deal.
This is happening.
And then the next day, like all of our tournaments got canceled. So, I mean, it's made me like kind of post like last few months. It's like, I would say the break has been nice. I got first because I travel so much, and I haven't had this much time off before I started playing golf. Like I've never had this much time off, and it's been nice to kind of be at home and spend some time with my family. And it's also made me appreciate my job a little bit more, because I think all of us get just a little tired, maybe a little whiny and complaining about how much we play throughout the year. But it's really made me appreciate not only golf and my job, but my health a lot more too.
Not to take things for granted.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a good point that everybody's been feeling.
Yeah.
So as you start up again, what do you think the change is going to be like going forward now with tournaments? Obviously we talked about no spectators, but what are other differences that you see that are going to kind of affect life on the tour?
Yeah, I think it was just, we're around each other so much, like not really on the golf course. You're not like touching each other really that close to each other, but in player dining, you're close. I mean, you touch kind of the same spoon to get like stuff out of the like buffet things, and in the player locker room, I mean, you're really close with each other, and just you just don't think about it a lot, because I usually stay like in Airbnbs with like my friends on tour, and just a lot of volunteers, like you sign autographs, you take pictures, and like stuff you never really thought about. And so it's going to be a little bit different when it comes to that. And like my caddy is from New York, and so I asked him to caddy this week, but he would have to quarantine for 2 weeks, so that's why my mom's on the back. So it's just like, I think the travel restrictions is going to be tough too, because we're supposed to play in Asia and Europe, and so we'll see about that.
I'm picturing like fan photos where you guys are 6 feet apart.
I know. Yeah, exactly. And you want to interact with the fans. You want to take pictures and sign autographs, because I mean, it means a lot for us to have the fans come out and watch, and the volunteers. So just like not being able to interact with them is going to be different.
Yeah, that's one thing I've really noticed from the LPGA Tour, is how much you all totally interact with the fans and really take the time to reach out to everybody that's here, which is awesome. So I love that. Bringing it back here a little bit, tell us about playing the Old American course. What is it about that course itself that you think makes it special?
I think just the whole layout of the course, Justin Leonard, who designed it, like every hole has a little bit of character to it. And I think like the front nine and like some of the holes that you get on the front and the back nine right on the water is really cool. And it can also make it difficult if the wind is blowing, but it's just a great golf course. And Mike McCabe is just the head pro here, is just a great person, and they're all so welcoming. And it's a really big facility too, at Old American and the Tribute. They have really great practice areas and just 2 great golf courses.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to revisit Volunteers of America Classic for a minute, that you obviously played in one last year. How does the tournament experience here compare to tournaments that you play elsewhere? Like, what are things about it that make it different, special?
Right. I would say, like last year, I was kind of not shocked, but more surprised with how many people came out and watched just in the surrounding Tribute community, which because people can walk over or like kind of watch from outside their house, which was really cool. And just like, it's just different because you could really see kind of like the Southern hospitality, like people that want to come out and watch and support you. And just everyone was just so nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had in my notes here that it did seem like the community and the residents embraced the players that came in with from housing, lots of signs that we saw, some gifts and things like that. Did you see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, people kind of watching outside their house, and our lockers in the locker room were all personalized little notes that junior golfers had made telling us good luck, and had all our names on it. And so that was really special. And a lot of like kids come out to watch too, which is like really sweet to see, because I was like them a few years ago.
Yeah, watching the little girls come up to you guys and just look so up to you all is, and the way that you treat them back is just amazing. I think you get a whole new group of golfers coming up from that. So working for the developer of the Tribute, I can't resist asking you this question of this community. If you could, would you live in the Tribute community?
Yes, of course I would. I still live with my parents, so but if I were to move, I'd definitely move up here. It's just like the housing development, really nice houses, and I love like how it's just a little community kind of away from like the main road, and you can walk on the trails, take your kids out there, your pets, and just like the whole community, I feel like backs each other, and they really support Volunteers of America, and they've been great with this event too, like kind of volunteering and helping us out despite the pandemic. And so definitely
I love that. I love that. You've been here for like months and you recognize that. Thank you. That's really nice of you to say. So we know you got to get back out on the course today and practice for the tournament. So the last thing we'll do is, because I know we do have some golfers on the call with us today, is there anything that anybody would like to ask Cheyenne? We do have a few minutes for question, or Kelly, if we have
We've got some great questions here in the chat, so I'll go ahead and kind of organize those into a few different questions. But first, Cheyenne, I want you to know we've got lots of congratulations on your win last year. Thank you. Having people excited to have you back playing in the community this week and then again later this year. So thanks so much for doing this again. There are some good questions. One I really like that's kind of a general golf question is if you could suggest one thing for a recreational golfer to work on to improve his or her game, lower their handicap, and just enjoy the game more, what would it be?
I would say not to, like overcomplicate things. If you want to take a lesson from someone, I think that's great. But honestly, the key to shooting lower scores is like kind of your short game. So I think instead of just pulling out a driver on the range and start hitting that as like hard as you can, just, maybe go to the putting green first and hit some putts or work on your short game, because that's where you score.
Awesome. We have some people asking about are you able to stay in tournament shape with this kind of turbulent or a big pause in your season this year, and also some questions about how do you calm your nerves before tournaments.
So I haven't played really this is my first tournament since February, since the pandemic started, but I've been trying to stay sharp as best I can. Every weekend I play with usually some members at my club at Shady Oaks, and Angela Stanford plays, Kim Kaufman, Drana Pillar, and so we usually play a tournament round on the weekends and keep our scores. So that's been good to kind of keep us as sharp as we can, and like just kind of still, keep competitively. And I've been doing drills, especially with like my putting. I try to make 10 putts in a row around the hole, and so on that 10th that you have to make, you have some nerves. So you're not going to get the complete feel like what you would have at a tournament, but just try to put yourself in like kind of those pressure situations and to calm your nerves, because I was definitely nervous before the last round last year. And I remember I was like talking to my caddy about it, like on the cart to the first tee, and I was like, I'm really nervous, like, and I like when I'm nervous, I tend to like get a little quick and start moving really quick, and like my mind kind of races. And so I was like, I just need you to calm me down or talk about something that's not golf. But I think also to like just calm your nerves. I mean, I was like, I was just going to give my best that day. Like I had no expectations, and I think that's, you're just going to give it your best, and you can't control the outcome. So I think just like, keep saying that to yourself. But yeah, I mean, my caddy was talking to me about Alabama football on the 17th hole. So he did a great job with that. But I think just like the positive self-talk and realize you are nervous, but you're going to overcome it.
Excellent. We have a couple more questions if we can. One is, could you share what you focus on from approach shot at Old American, and what's the key to chipping around Old American Golf Club?
Oh gosh. Yeah, my chipping. I chipped in 4 times that week, so it was definitely my week around the green. But I would say the approach shots, like because the greens are kind of small at Old American, is to just shoot towards the middle of the green a lot. But when you do have, a good yardage, or the pin is accessible, like not on the edges of the green, you can fire at the pin. But we just played really smart that week. Me and my caddy, we, fired away from a lot of pins and took, 20, 30 feet, because there's no reason to fire at every pin if you don't have to, because you may be short-sighted and make an easy bogey. But chipping, so the week before I won in Indianapolis, I chipped in twice for par, so not for birdie. But I would say I am a good chipper, but I would say I played Old American 2 or 3 weeks before the tournament. I'm not really sure, but I practiced a lot around the greens and in my practice round. So I really got a feel of the Bermuda, because we don't play on Bermuda a lot, and it tends to grab your club when you chip into the grain. So I just practiced a lot, and kind of goes back to, I mean, that's where you save shots. It's like your short game. So it is really important to practice it. But I just felt comfortable, I would say, chipping, because I put a lot of practice in before the tournament started.
Excellent. Really just kind of, one more quick one was, how old were you when you started playing golf?
I was 9. So, but I definitely loved other sports, and I started playing golf full time when I was like 14. So
okay.
It was good to have a balance, and I played with my friends and my dad, so it was good. And I think I started slow. I started like at 3-hole tournaments, like 150 yards. So it wasn't like you just don't have the attention span when you're that young. So, start playing 1 hole or 2 holes. You don't need to throw yourself in going 18 holes, because that's not fun for anyone who's a beginner.
Yeah. Awesome. We've got one more question that you've addressed a little bit with, like you were mentioning, the 10 putts in a row that you try to make, which that is I love that strategy, because you feel so much pressure towards the end on that. But just kind of as a wrap up about your game, when you practice, what do you work on, and how long do you spend working on each part of your game?
So every day is kind of different. I kind of have an idea of what I want to work on, but I would say like the most important kind of parts of my game that I think is important, like on the LPGA Tour, is definitely your putting. That's like, how you shoot I mean, you could hit 18 greens and 2-putt everything and shoot even. And but so I definitely work on my putting probably for an hour a day. I like to, work around the hole. I do like 5-footers around the hole. I try to make 10 in a row. I think when I won here, my speed was really good on the greens. Like on the last hole, I had like 70 feet and I hit it up there to 2-3 feet. So I do a drill. I like to put 3 balls at 30 feet, 3 balls at 50 feet, 3 balls at 40 feet, and 1 ball at 60 feet. And so your goal is to like get it in within a grip length, club length. I mean, you can start however you want to, but just like try to get the feel of the greens. And I would say also like you got to like put the ball in play. So I work on my driver a good bit. You can go on the range and make an imaginary fairway, try to hit it between
Join the meeting.
that tree and the flag, or just kind of like challenge yourself that way and try to hit 10 out of 14 fairways, or start small if you need to. And my wedges, because on the par 5s, that's where you can really like attack the pin, because you tend to have a shorter club in your hands. So I usually get a cone. I have this big yellow cone that you can buy at Academy, wherever, and I just try to hit the cone with some wedges. So, and it's a hard thing to do. So it's a good challenge. But I would say like quality over quantity. I think it's just good to have a game plan before you go out there, because you can just wear yourself out really easily. So I might be out there 2 hours and then go play 9 holes, or maybe it's a little longer than that. But since it's getting a little bit more hot outside, I'm not out there for that long. So I get my work done, then like take a break or go home.
Well, awesome. Well, we just had someone comment, Robert Cox, saying good luck this weekend and can't wait to see you defending in the Volunteers of America tournament here later this year. So I think that's a perfect comment to kind of wrap up our session with you. But we do appreciate you taking the time out of your tournament prep to meet with us, and good luck. You'll have a lot of people here cheering for you again later this year.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me.
Yeah. Thanks so much, y'all. Thanks for joining.
See ya.